Welcome to Order in Chaos, episode 18. Today we are talking about AI again. But this AI is an ongoing thing, right? So the previous time that we talked about AI, that was when AI itself, they were just at the introduction stage. Like, people were just getting to know about AI and starting to adopt them into businesses. So back then it seemed very revolutionary if a business was able to generate a poster, an image or something like that.
Yeah.
But nowadays we see it everywhere to the point where it's kind of like the landscape has changed.
Yeah.
From early adoption back then, now it's like we are starting to distinct or differentiate between what tasteful AI adoption is like versus AI slop, that kind of thing. So yeah, this episode we'll be talking about the double-edged effect of AI.
So retrenchment has climbed to a 3-year high, right? It's a 3 point something% in Singapore right now. And it's due to multiple factors, of course, like shrinking margins, AI adoption, all that kind of stuff, right? And I think people must fundamentally understand that it's not theorized by me. I don't know what they actually call it, but there's like four dimensions of AI usage, right? First one is agentic AI that replaces tasks like single tasks. You tell them generate you a report, generate you a creative brief, generate you a technical design document, for example, task, right? Second level, AI that replaces the entire employee, meaning that all a certain list of tasks is input into this agentic AI. Everything you go through this employee, could be a marketing employee, could be a SEO employee, could be a copywriting employee, right? Next, third dimension is actually teams, AI teams. So let's say, meaning that you have multiple employees that work together as a team. With maybe in marketing, it will be you have your marketing director. Then you have below you have your different employees, right? So then that's the third dimension. Fourth dimension, from what I researched on, still not really possible, which is replacing your entire company, like your agentic C-suite.
Not even CEO, like C-suite.
Yeah, like creating a suite to manage that. And so it's 100% printing money when you are sleeping.
Oh.
Right? It's not possible. Reason being is that they were saying that it tends to, firstly, as with models, algorithms, right? When you prompt it, this was the right thing to do. Your decision making has to shift. I think that will shift every single time. Should we focus on branding? Should we focus on revenue maximization? Should we focus on delivery? Right? That's based on real feedback in real time. Right? So let's say if your return rate is increasing, we need to address that first. Rather than focusing on getting more customers. Right? And that's something that is the AI is not yet able to make decisions.
Identify which fire to fight.
Yeah, which fire to fight first. Right? So what happens is that they actually tried this. So even if you are off 0.1 degrees, right? By the time you realize there's a problem, right? The distance at the 0.1 degrees is already very far apart from what you need to focus on.
So it's already snowballed into something that
Yeah. That's the reason why we haven't reached the fourth dimension. But it means that there are people that are already at the third dimension, by the way.
entire departments.
Yeah, entire departments are
autonomous.
Yeah.
Oh.
Quite insane. But the thing is, for those who are still at task level, right? If you're an employee, I would say it's you can be replaced, but they still require a person to prompt because it got too expensive. So you need to like token utilization optimization. Wow, that's a lot of words. Right? So try to minimize your word usage and all that kind of stuff. Right? And trust me, you'll reach a point, right? It'll be cheaper to actually film it outdoors than to try and recreate the physics, the environment on screen. Really, it will reach a point.
It'll end up being cheaper than it being AI generated.
Yeah, because AI generation you need to edit, man.
Back full circle again.
Yeah, it goes back full circle. You think about it, because let's say you saw that the logo on the cup is wrong. You need to click like circle that part and then you prompt again, but burn the.
Oh yeah, all those is money.
Yeah, and every single scene, we are talking about every single scene, right? There was this recent clip that I saw someone doing a real estate. He was mocking the use of AI. The wife was discussing the sale, and the salesperson, right? So they wanted to remove the husband to talk to the client. So end up removing the salesperson. Then the husband was talking to mid-air. Then he was like, yeah. So that's a common frustration with prompting. But then how much token you need to burn to get that context right? That's the issue now. Yeah. I think that's just one thing that will potentially happen. We will eventually go back to where human is still cheaper, mah.
Yeah.
Because machines you need to fuel with energy. I mean electricity every 24/7. Humans you just need to give them 3 minutes to jump on new tech. But there's another thing to whether it make financial sense lah. Like don't be FOMO and just go into it because everyone is doing it. What I would suggest is eventually it will become a hybrid. If your task today is the same thing every single day, you need to
That's when AI will.
replace you. Simple as that. Because it's the same thing. There is no change. Let's say creating an invoice, you provide a template to the AI, right? And then they generate the invoices, the quotations out, right? Same one. There's no difference.
Yeah.
Right? So it doesn't remove a role. It just changes how that role is being performed. I think that's one thing that a lot of people will need to understand. Right. So I've actually had like some experience working in the corporate sector. Like I mean like working for another company. Right? I realized that I cannot deal with there is artificial bureaucracy in terms of like trying to keep jobs. So which is not efficient from our point of view. Right. For people who have always been in the heat, right, who have is always thinking about your payrolls, your rental, your optimization, right? It's very hard for us to accept that things are the way it is, right? Purely because of trying to retain jobs. Which means that for those who are worried about being replaced, I think you don't have to worry so much. There are measures in place because imagine, I mean, from government's point of view, again, if too many people are being retrenched and they're out of a job, they cannot support the economy, wouldn't there be a riot in the upheaval?
Probably.
Right? Logically speaking, right? That's what causes every
Revolution.
yeah, right. We have observed in even our neighboring countries, Nepal. Previously, Nepal had it, right? So I think that's one thing that you cannot underestimate the human potential. It turns out to be cheaper to hire someone who knows how to do the job than to essentially train from scratch. I would rather hire lah. You get what I'm coming because you can assign more work to that person. The way I see it is that for AI generation, right, you don't have creditor. Creditor meaning that you pay per use. Employees not. From the business owner perspective, they have a 30-day creditor. The next time they pay you is next month. Right? A lot of the business owners still practice this, which is to give you job slightly out of your job. Like make you work more than you're being paid for. Can you do it? Yeah, no.
No.
Right? You pay as much as
it's
it's
kind of like fixed.
Yeah. So from that perspective, right, like it doesn't make sense to do artificial intelligence everything. Yeah. That's how I see it.
But if they have to spend on training the employee, then
They have to spend on training the agent, the AI as well.
so they end up spending the same to train either the AI or the employee.
Yeah.
But the difference is they cannot give the AI more work jobs, like
Yeah.
more work.
But they can give the employee more jobs. And that's for white collar lah. But of course, in a production plant, then it makes more sense to train the AI to do the job because they can do it
It's
faster.
just assembly line.
Yeah, assembly line they can do it faster.
Oh.
Because it's you don't expect more from the worker on the assembly line, mah. Right? You just buy the machine and then get it done because there is the skill set is there. Then there's no way you can improve the
function is dead lah.
Yeah, the function is dead. Yeah. So but then in a office setting, that's when you can give them more jobs to do because you can use I mean this is a practice that I don't really agree, but then a lot of business owners do it, which is that you should be optimizing with AI, right? Which means that your output is expected to increase, which means that I can give you more job. If not, then why do I need you? I think that's a question that's very logical, but the human factor wise, right, is a bit questionable. Yeah, but it is a logical process, especially for countries like that are very intense in terms of working hours, in terms of employee expectations, like in China and Singapore.
Okay, so going back to the main thread, is that AI can make SMEs faster and more efficient, but it can also make them more forgettable if they stop thinking for themselves.
Correct.
Correct.
Because they will, I mean, you must understand how work, because they draw in from different sources and try and make a coherent output. Which means that it was never original. You get where I'm coming from. is based off data that is existing. Of course, if your objective is simply to do what others have been doing, then yeah, go ahead lah. But if you wanted to create something that was really new, right, you cannot just purely rely on AI.
AI can help to optimize.
Yeah, can help to optimize.
But there will be a limit that they can optimize to.
It cannot create.
There's a ceiling.
Yeah, you can
Optimization
optimize.
and creation is a different thing.
So it can help you optimize, it cannot help you create. I'm not saying that you shouldn't be actively trying to use it to see how it can improve your business, optimize your business, right? You should. That's what we are trying to do as well.
Like what you're saying, a hybrid.
Yeah. I personally believe that there must still be some human supervision.
Yeah.
Because for your own creative vision is very unique to yourself, right? Of how you want to get things done, how you want to format certain things. If you just leave it on its own accord, right, you will just do what we deem best practices, but best practices might not be aligned with best practices, firstly, for who?
Yeah.
Right? Secondly, in what? Like for, is your definition of best practice the same as my definition of best practice? No. Right?
Yeah.
Like for me, is I want every of my document to be on brand. Right? For example, this is a very real world example for Ken's best practice. His one is as long as the work is done, it's best practice. Meaning that he can just type in Google Docs, right? And then he export as a PDF or Word. That's best practice. For me, it's not. Because the formatting is very off. Right? I want something to be very coherent and consistent for every of the document that we, or the slides that we produce. That's why I will create in the actual program itself. Can be Illustrator, can be PowerPoint, can be Word. Whichever the program was meant for that particular purpose. Especially, not obviously internally we are more lax, right? I mean, internally we all use, like say, Google Sheets, Google Docs, right?
Yeah.
But externally, let's say when I send out, right, I wouldn't be exporting from Google Docs into Word because the formatting will look very weird. That's from my perspective. So that's the difference between best practice already. Yeah. Let's say when I send to a client, I usually if it's an actual PDF that they are looking for, right, I will just create it directly in Word itself. Yeah. If it's a document lah.
So ultimately, the main point is for business owners to identify which functions are the dead functions and which functions are like alive. Where they will need like discretionary thinking,
Judgment.
to like of drawing insights or whatever.
Yeah.
And then those that the dead functions can be optimized while the other functions are. Do you think AI could help?
It can help you think of how to help you do it better. You get maybe there's something that you're unaware of or be done better. Then yeah, you can use that. But then at the end of the day, you still need to be the one doing it. There's a difference. So let's say the restaurants used to have menus, right? Paper menus. Then after you can order and stuff, right? Then after that, it shifted to what? QR code.
QR codes, yeah.
And then you order yourself, right? So optimizing for the QR code is correct, right? It's something that a lot of restaurants are able to cut down on headcount purely to not have people that's taking orders. But then why don't Michelin like restaurants they do that? Or I ask you order from QR code. Will destroy your experience.
Yeah.
That's why they still have a physical word menu and then there's a guy that's at the side waiting to take your order. Right. Because
experience.
That's their best practice, ma. That's what they are optimizing for. They want the experience. But for let's say as a small scale restaurants that's focusing on table turnover, then best practice for them is to make
optimize
maybe you can even pay yourself even better, that kind of thing. They don't need to key in anything.
Yeah.
Even better. So again, back to not everything that's good for other companies is good for you. I think that's one thing you need to really sit down, right, and really figure out yourself. Not just I saw this clip, I heard this person saying this, and then you follow and then you try and implement. No, it doesn't work that way. Yeah. Let's say we recently had a shoot, right, where I flew the team down to Singapore, right? Would it have been more efficient trying to create the video using AI? Maybe, but then the learning time that it will take. Secondly is whether we are that proficient in property. Then you say it's a skill issue, right? It is a skill issue, right? But do you have the time to go and learn the skill? To pick up the skill to be an expert in that when you're putting out fires every single day. Right?
Yeah.
And or would it simply be cheaper to fly the team down and let them do their job and get the thing done. Right? Because we recently had information shared with us where one of the companies that was using AI enabled, right? Their burn rate per month was about $2,000 on just on token cost itself. Right? But for us, me flying the team down, right, it cost 1,300.
Yeah. So that's
And the company that we are talking about is generating words. For us, we need to generate videos. Can you imagine the exponential burn rate that you would have taken? Yeah. Don't be fooled by all those TikTok influencers that claim or they're just promoting for a particular platform, right?
Yeah.
Bullshit. You know why? Because they always say like, oh, to recreate this video, it only took $35, for example. But you're recreating. There's so much reference scene from that for the AI to pick up.
What about the creation?
What if you create itself?
How much did you burn rate?
Have you tried or not? For all you know, what they did was take the video, break it down with the AI, the prompt by prompt, take the prompt, put it into the
reverse engineer.
Yeah, reverse engineer, and then you put it back, and then of course you'll get the same scene, bro. Like, dude, no shit, right? You get what I mean?
Yeah.
But what if you were to type it out from scratch? A different thing already, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
So this will be an ongoing conversation as AI continues to progress.
AI.
and as we examine and observe how businesses try to adopt AI into their own business functions. So yeah, I think this series on AI will continue to go on, and then maybe we'll check in again sometime in the future.
Like episode 28.
Yeah.
Anyway, Cam will be flying to Hong Kong and staying there for some time, so he will fly back to record one full day of videos in the future.
Yeah. See how that goes.
Yeah. And we'll just be flying him back to this particular venue and then just make sure that he filmed the video. It's only 3 hours away. Right? Then if you fly back just to take. So in the future you prepare not for 3 episodes but for 10. Then we just film the whole day.
Wow. AI cannot replace me, bro.
AI.
Okay, so we come to the end of episode 18. See you guys in the next one. Remember to like, comment, share, subscribe.
To your OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bye.